He ignores you, and it stings. You replay the moments wondering what went wrong. But what if I told you, sometimes that silence isn't rejection at all. Sometimes it's one of the clearest signs he's falling for you. A sign so subtle, most people miss it entirely. I'm a psychologist who spent years studying love, attraction, and the strange ways people show it. And today I'm going to reveal the 5 hidden signs a man's distance might actually mean he cares more than you realize. And the shocking twist at the end that could change the way you see him forever. Sign 1, the vanishing act after intimacy. You've just shared something beautiful. Maybe it was a deep conversation. Maybe it was a moment that made you feel closer than ever. And then he's gone. Not physically, but emotionally. The texts slow down, the calls stop, the warmth fades into silence. Here's what's really happening. For some men, closeness doesn't just feel good, it feels dangerous. It stirs up fears of losing control, of being vulnerable, of getting hurt. So the brain's defense mechanism kicks in. Pull away before it gets too real. To you, it feels confusing, even hurtful. You wonder, did I say something wrong? Did I push too much? But often it's not about you at all. It's about his battle between wanting you and fearing the very thing he wants. The best thing you can do in this moment is resist the urge to chase. Give him space, but send a calm, steady signal. You're not going to punish closeness, and you're not going to panic if he steps back. That quiet confidence can be more powerful than any desperate text you'll ever send. Sign 2, the silent guardian. He doesn't flood your phone with sweet messages or shower you with public displays of affection. Instead, he shows his feelings in quiet, almost invisible ways. He remembers the tiny details you've mentioned. Your favorite snack, the way you like your coffee, the appointment you were nervous about. He steps in to fix a problem before you even ask. He makes sure you get home safe. But he does it all without expecting recognition. Psychologically, this often comes from men who believe love is something you prove through action, not words. Maybe he grew up in an environment where vulnerability wasn't encouraged, so he learned to express care by doing rather than saying. To you, it can be frustrating. You want the words, the emotional openness. But his consistency in these quiet acts, that's his language of love. If you notice this pattern, acknowledge it. A simple, "I really appreciate that you did this for me," can encourage him to open up more over time. Because when his actions are met with gratitude, he starts to feel safe enough to let the words follow. Sign 3, the hot and cold pattern. The third sign is the one that leaves you dizzy. The hot and cold pattern. One moment, he's all in, attentive, affectionate, making you feel like the only person in his world. And then, without warning, he cools down. The texts are short, the calls less frequent, the warmth replaced by distance. Psychologically, this push and pull is often rooted in conflicting attachment styles. On one hand, he craves closeness. On the other, it triggers a deep fear of losing himself or of being hurt. So when things get intense, he instinctively pulls back to regain control. To you, it feels like emotional whiplash. You start questioning everything. Was he pretending? Did I imagine the connection? But more often than not, it's not about deception. It's about internal conflict. The key here is not to mirror his extremes. Instead, hold steady. Let him see that your connection isn't a roller coaster. It's a safe place. That steadiness can help break the cycle, but only if he's willing to face the fears driving his behavior. Sign 4, the low-volume jealousy. He'll never openly admit it. He won't make a scene or start an argument, but you'll notice it in subtle moments. The way his smile fades when someone flirts with you, the way his voice changes when you mention another man, or how he quietly positions himself closer to you in a group. Psychologically, this often comes from men who struggle with vulnerability. They fear that if they express jealousy outright, they'll seem insecure or controlling. So instead, they swallow it down, but the body language, the tone shifts, they give them away. To you, these mixed signals can be confusing. You might think, if he cares, why not just say so? But for him, admitting jealousy feels like handing over his power. If you sense this low-volume jealousy, don't tease or provoke it. Instead, offer reassurance without feeding insecurity. A simple, genuine, "I'm with you," can be more powerful than you realize. Because for a man like this, trust is the bridge that turns guarded love into open love. Sign 5, the test of silence. The fifth sign is the one that hurts the most. The test of silence. Out of nowhere, he pulls back. Not because he's angry, not because he's lost interest, but because he's watching how you'll react. Psychologically, this often comes from insecurity or fear of abandonment. He needs proof that you'll stay, even when he's not showing up for you. Sometimes it's a conscious choice. Other times, it's an unconscious habit shaped by past relationships where love felt unstable. To you, it can feel manipulative, even cruel. You replay conversations, wondering what you did wrong. But in his mind, this silence is a way to measure your loyalty. The danger is, if you tolerate this without boundaries, it can become a cycle. The healthiest way to handle it is with clarity. Let him know you won't play games, but you're open to honest communication. A simple, "If you need space, just tell me. I respect that," sets a standard that says, "I'm here, but I won't be tested." The twist, the sign nobody talks about. And here's the part no one talks about. Sometimes he ignores you not to play games, but because he's trying to protect you. He may be facing something he doesn't want you to see. Financial trouble, family problems, depression, or a deep sense of not being enough for you. In his mind, pulling away spares you the burden of his struggles. It's a form of love twisted by fear. He's convinced that stepping back is the noble thing to do. But what he doesn't realize is that, to you, silence feels like rejection. When you understand this, the question changes. It's no longer, "Why is he ignoring me?" It becomes, "What is he carrying that he's afraid to show?" When ignoring is not love. But let's be clear, ignoring you is not always a sign of love. If his silence is constant, if it's paired with emotional manipulation, control, or disrespect, that's not love. That's neglect. Love may give space, but it never erases your presence. If you feel invisible, if you're shrinking yourself just to keep someone's attention, that's not a sign to hold on. That's a sign to walk away. Protect your heart, because love should make you feel safe, not small. Love is complex. Silence can mean many things: love, fear, protection, or pain. The key is to notice the pattern, listen to your heart, and honor your own needs. You deserve a love that doesn't just exist in silence, but one that speaks clearly through actions and words alike. If you've seen any of these 5 hidden signs in someone who ignores you, remember, it's not your fault. And it's not always what it seems, but your feelings matter always. So here's what I want you to do next. Comment below with number 5 happened if you recognized any of these signs in your own experience. Let's start a conversation where you feel heard and understood. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more psychology-backed insights that help you navigate love with confidence and clarity. Thank you for watching. Take care of your heart, and I'll see you in the next video.